Welcome back to a Criminally Basic Podcast. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Megan.
So, as I was telling Megan earlier, we're sticking with the music murders here.
I'm so excited about this. I'm loving this theme.
I looked it up. We can keep going for a while.
My gosh, let's keep going.
It's going to happen. But okay, this week's a little bit different. It's a producer instead of an artist.
Ooh.
Yes. So, this week's episode is about Phil Spector and the murder of Lana Clarkson.
I think I've heard of this one.
You absolutely have.
Maybe?
Let's get into it and you'll exactly know.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Okay. So, Lana Jean Clarkson was born April 5th, 1962 in Long Beach, California, to Donna and James Clarkson, but she was raised in Sonoma County, California. She had a brother, Jesse, and a sister named Fawn, which I love the name. It's such a cute name.
That's really pretty.
It's so cute. She attended Cloverdale, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, high school and Pacific Union College preparatory school. After Lana's father's death, that's when she moved back to the Los Angeles area. And that's also when she decided to pursue a career as a performer and as a model. So I read this, and this just makes me see how much of an amazing person this woman was. So in the 1980s, during the AIDS crisis, she would weekly volunteer at the AIDS charity Project Angel Food, which delivers food for those in the Los Angeles area disabled by HIV and AIDS. At the time, the disease was greatly feared among the general public, and she would go and donate food and stuff. And I'm like, sweet baby angel.
Yeah, that's very kind of her. Knowing what I know about the AIDS crisis in the 80s, people didn't know how it spread. They didn't know if it was by touch, and therefore people with AIDS and HIV were highly stigmatized.
Yeah.
There was an interview actually with Princess Diana at the time.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, where she shook the hand of someone with either HIV or AIDS. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah.
But that was like a big deal.
Yeah. Gotta love Princess Di.
God bless her. Like,
An
God rest her
angel.
soul.
True angel.
Right.
She was a huge fan of Marilyn Monroe and actually collected her memorabilia, ABC News said. Lana overall had a successful acting career. As someone who is an actress, I would consider it successful, but I don't think the general public would. It wasn't anything really notable, but it was bits, parts, and here and there. She was a good actress. She just never got her big break. She was in Three's Company, multiple commercials and stuff. It was enough to make a living, but it wasn't anything worth... I don't want to say it wasn't worth noting, but it's nothing either of us would really know.
Right. But I mean, I think that really represents how a lot of careers in the entertainment industry go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when she hit 30, things changed, which unfortunately we all know how Hollywood is with people in their 30s. They're getting a lot better now.
True.
But still, though, that's when she ended up getting a hostess job at the House of Blues. Even though she was still working in the entertainment industry, it was just to help pay bills. And that is where Lana met Phil Spector at the House of Blues Club in Los Angeles. So, you're asking who Phil Spector is. Everyone is going to know a song or two that he has wrote or produced or worked on. So, have you heard Be My Baby by the Ronettes?
Yes.
He did that. He did Christmas Baby, Please Come Home by Darlene Love.
Oh, wow.
He's worked on the Beatles, the Beach Boys, you name it, he's done it. Phil Spector is safe to say a musical genius. He actually invented his own sound called the Wall of Sound, or also known as the Spector sound, along with another producer. With that, he ended up forming a group of session musicians called the Wrecking Crew, which they were like extremely popular in the 70s. They worked on every major band. They worked in the Beach Boys, like I said, the Beatles. And the best example of the Spector sound, to me at least, is the Beach Boys' Wouldn't It Be Nice?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a little music history there for you. Not good music history, but music history.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the part of the story where he comes in. So Spector's chauffeur, Andreo did his last name is spelled Desouza.
DeSouza?
DeSouza, I think so.
Sure, we're gonna go with DeSouza.
Andreo de Souza drove him to the House of Blues nightclub. At that time, Spector already had a lot of alcohol in him. He was kind of as a drunk person would be.
Okay.
Well, what they said was after they initially refused Spector's admission into the VIP club or the VIP area at the House of Blues. Clarkson, who was the hostess, was told by management to treat him like gold because it's Phil Spector, he's a famous producer, blah blah blah.
Right.
Spector somehow suggested they go have a nightcap back at his castle. After the club closed, she agreed. De Souza drove Spector and Clarkson to the castle, and this is from The Guardian. Side note, the place was called Pyramus Castle.
Pyramus Castle. He lived in a castle?
It was 33 rooms.
Yeah, he lived in a castle.
Huge house.
That's insane.
No one needs that many rooms.
What are you going to do with that many rooms?
I don't know, have a room for each shoe you have?
I don't even think I have that many shoes.
I don't either. But I would have too much space with that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send you pictures of this house.
Yes, I want to see this place.
It's huge, Megan.
I would have a room for every single random hobby that I have.
I mean, same. I feel like we could get Louisa her own room.
We could give Louisa an entire wing of the mansion.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, hopefully they delivered.
This is beautiful.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, minus what I'm about to tell you.
Is it? I mean, this looks like it should be worth more than $5 million. Is it worth $5 million because a horrible murder happened in here?
Let's get into it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So when Spector and Clarkson got there, what happened next between them is what happened between them, and none of us will never really know what happened. But what we know is, and keep in mind, this was the night of February 3rd, 2003.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Lana was 40 years old. De Souza heard what he thought was a gunshot. After De Souza got out of his car to check what happened, Phil Spector came out of his home, shaking in a white jacket, holding a gun, saying, "I think I killed someone." Andreo called the police and went inside, and that is where he found Lana's lifeless body slumped over in her chair, head tilted back, with the bottom of her mouth blown off by a 36 caliber Colt revolver. The revolver was actually found under her left leg.
Wait.
Yes.
He comes out.
Uh-huh.
And he's holding a gun?
Mm-hmm.
But there's another gun under her leg.
Phil Spector had a tendency to not... He had too many weapons, and he had a history of not being good with them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. When the police got there, they had to actually tase Spector because he was railing against officers, then apologizing because he wouldn't empty his pockets. In a police report, Officer Beatrice Rodriguez quoted Spector saying, "What's wrong with you guys? I didn't mean to shoot her. It was an accident." And this is from The Guardian. 12 hours later, he was on bail with, guess who his lawyer was? You have to guess, Megan.
Oh my God, is it OJ's lawyer?
Yes. It was Mr. Robert Shapiro.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. I can't believe I guessed that. I mean,
you're
awful,
good at these guessing games.
But...
awful, but
wow.
Yeah.
Crazy how small of a world this really is.
Oh no, it gets weirder and worse. They actually didn't go to trial until November of that year, but something happened with him and Mr. Shapiro. I'm not sure what. I really couldn't find it. But then he got a different lawyer named Bruce Cutler. And you might not know who Bruce Cutler is, but he was actually the attorney for mob boss John Gotti.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
But he actually left due to his difference of opinion with Mr. Spector and him on a strategy.
So he's gone through 2 lawyers at this point?
Too. Yep.
Wow.
And so, okay, a little bit about Spector. We have to stop here because this is going to make a lot more sense why he's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Spector was extremely controlling in his music, which for the music turned out really good.
Mm-hmm.
But those unfortunate control issues ended up going into his personal life as well.
Mm.
His ex-wife Ronnie, who was the Ronettes who sung Be My Baby, she was actually held captive by Spector for years.
What do you mean years?
Like, kept her hostage, like, they were married and stuff. She actually said she escaped in the dead of night with her mom barefoot.
Oh my goodness. I had
Yeah.
no idea that that happened.
Yeah, like, no one really did either because this was like 60s, 70s-ish.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, she had even surrendered her biological children that he had adopted as like a Christmas gift for them because Spector said he would hire a hitman to kill her if she didn't surrender them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie's sons would actually later sue Spector because they alleged that he forced them to perform sexual acts on Spector's girlfriends.
Ew.
Oh, indeed.
What the heck, man?
Yeah, I didn't look into that lawsuit much, but I wish I did because now I'm like, why didn't I?
Anything with kids just makes me ugh.
Spector's first murder trial ended in a mistrial after 15 days of deliberation. The jury was in the favor of conviction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They actually had tried to get Spector out on bail, but they said with his long history of violence with guns, they declined to release them. After some incidents that happened in the 70s, there was even there's like a famous story. Do you know the punk band the Ramones?
Mhm.
Everyone knows Blitzkrieg Bop. Everyone's heard it. It's a Hey Ho, Let's Go.
Yeah.
For our audience out there, play that now if you would like. It's a very good song.
Hmm.
Um, there's actually a famous story of him holding a gun to them in their studio.
What?
Yeah. Marky Ramone would later like not really claim it happened, but like it's a story that's been going around for like decades.
Man.
Yeah. Um, the prosecutor even called him Spector a very dangerous man who has a history of playing Russian roulette with women. 6 women to be exact. Lana just happened to be the sixth one. And that's a quote in my sources. I forgot to put my little quotation things there, but it's in my sources. You can find them on our website. With the second trial, though, they did end up convicting Spector in 2009, I'm so sorry, and sentenced him 19 years to life for the murder of Lana Clarkson. During the trial, his defense attorneys tried to say she was suicidal over a breakup, and Spector even quoted, which we're going to watch now, she kissed the gun, which I think is other bull. I think it was just him.
It just sounds like him trying to get off.
Yeah. Oh, and that wasn't even at trial. That was to an interview, which we're going to watch. It's only a couple minutes, so.
Okay, can I just say
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
his appearance?
I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
Yes.
He looks very much like a how to put this nicely, an eccentric he looks very eccentric. He's
Oh, he was. There's no doubt about that. I'll get into that in a minute.
The place in my home, which is a castle.
My home, which is a castle. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Evening in question, when the incident took place and we called for the paramedics, instead of the paramedics showing up, the police showed up and negotiated with me for 45 minutes before they came into the house, but no paramedics came to help the injured party.
The injured party.
The injured party, yeah.
The woman he shot.
Yes.
Who had administered a self-inflicted wound. Then after about 45 minutes, while the injured party could have possibly been saved, from dying because nobody knows what her condition was, alive or dead, the police decided not to enter the house as human beings and to protect and serve, but rather
as human beings to protect and serve. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I think I might have sent you the wrong one, but this still is a good one.
animals, drunken animals, if you will, because I don't know that they were not drunk. Because
I don't know that they were not drunk. What?
He was drunk as hell.
Okay.
all I know is that they came in barnstorming like stormtroopers and overwhelmed me physically, about between 12 and 16 of them. Police.
But yeah, like, he has a gun.
Yes. And
He had
also
a gun.
he refused to empty his pockets.
Right. So if
And they tased him.
that to me seems like a reasonable thing to do. If you're faced with someone who has just shot another person, who has a weapon on them, and who is refusing to empty their pockets,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, tasing him seems like the logical next step to make sure that he doesn't harm anybody else.
Yeah.
They
We can
overwhelmed me physically.
Yeah. We can keep going if you won't, but like it's like that the whole thing, and that's so you want to punch him.
I do want to punch him. That's ridiculous.
Yep. But they did convict Spector, and at the trial, like after it was over, Spector's lawyer gave Donna Clarkson, Lana's mother, $17,000 as a check to pay for the funeral expenses as part of the court-ordered sentence. So, okay, let's get a little bit back to his appearance. So,
yeah, what's up with that?
So, funny story. I remember watching this with my mom, like on Court TV, whatever that channel's called. Phil Spector always wore wigs, and they were always crazy, outlandish wigs. He actually, like years ago, had a severe car accident that almost killed him and ended up having like a scar on his head. And so that's kind of why he wore outlandish wigs. And so each day at the trial, he would have on different wigs, different crazy looks. And they were all kind of like that, or like there was one that best described it was a coconut blonde wig. So, like, do you remember Coconut Head?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like Coconut Head with an emo fringe that kind of swooped and was blonde.
You're on trial for murder, my guy. Like, now is not the time to.
He ended up actually getting married to a 26-year-old during this time. How that happened, I don't know.
I don't understand.
Yeah, but they ended up divorcing in 2016 for irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I didn't know murder counted as irreconcilable differences, but okay. So what I'm sending you is some of his looks in court and his mugshots.
Okay. Oh, what a mugshot.
I know, right?
Wow. That is the face of a man who has seen some things.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. These wigs aren't as outlandish as I thought they would be. They could look kind of natural. However, if he's in court day after day and he's coming in with different hairstyles day after day, I still don't think that's very appropriate.
Yeah, you would think, but he did it. But yeah, no, he ended up serving he got 19 years to life for the murder of Lana Clarkson. But in this year, January 21st, 2021, Philip Spector would die in prison from issues related to COVID-19, said his daughter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he did get life.
He did.
But unfortunately, Lana Clarkson lost her life from a deranged madman.
Yeah, I think with great genius comes a little bit of unhingedness, however you say that.
Absolutely. I haven't met anyone who isn't a genius at what they do who aren't a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Exactly. And I mean, Hannah, I think you and I can speak as artists and
Mhm.
you there is a certain level of eccentricity or like a different perception of the world that you have to have if you are when you're creating art and producing music and
Absolutely.
creating art. um
And
but
I
it
feel like as artists, we do think a different way than everyone
mhm,
else. But there are some people in the artistic field that take it a little too far.
right, I being a little eccentric is one thing, but being a murderer is a completely different thing.
Yeah, and it's so sad. Lana's mother had talked about they were planning so many things, and now the only place she can visit her is at her grave.
Tragic.
Yeah. So that was the very unfortunate murder of Lana Clarkson. Thank you all for listening to a Criminally Basic podcast. If you want to find more, find us at a Criminally Basic podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
And check out our sources as well as photos on our website, www.acriminallybasicpodcast.podbean.com.